Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I thought about it for a while and I didn't know if I was going to show you guys this video, but it keeps like nagging at me that it's something that I need to show you guys. And that's just because I know I'm always telling you guys that that these evil albinoid demons, they get a thrill out of killing, whether it's animals that they slaughter and hang on their walls, whether it was, black people that they're hunting, that they're killing for sports. If we think that these disgusting white supremacist cops are just accidentally running upon black people that they're killing, it's not that simple. It's pretty simple. The simple thing about it is that's their nature. That's what they want to do. They get a thrill out of it. It feels good to them. It's something that they very much enjoy doing. And so if there was ever a time where they were alone with just other white people, it would just be white on white crime. It's not about it's not something they would ever be able to stop or contain or limit themselves to just doing to animals, because when they kill these animals, and I've heard them describe, this thrill of this kill, that their blood rush and they just feel really, really good after taking something or someone's life. That's who we're up against. That's who we have to work with and sit next to, and they teach our children, and somehow they pretend to act surprised when one of their community does something heinous. And it's not that they're surprised that they've done it. It's just it going public and being caught, and it's what they're supposed to act like. They're supposed to act like, oh, I'm just scared. I just can't believe that this happened, and this is just not something that we see every day. It is. It's in their nature. They love to do it, and it's not a surprise ever when I see a white person killing something or someone, whether it is their mother, their child, their neighbor. It's never a surprise to me. You will never hear me say, oh my gosh, I don't believe that this person would do that. That just won't ever come out of my mouth when it comes to them. So I'm going to play this video. Even like, I'm just thinking that, with YouTube going on their rampage of deleting my videos and stuff, but whatever. I'm gonna play it anyway, and it's pretty gross and sad and sickening, and it's just like them.
Sister, 15-year-old Alyssa Bustamante. The agent collects the diary as potential evidence. The next morning, now Friday, in 2 days.
I'm trying to play it for me.
Missouri 4th grader Elizabeth Olton is still missing. And when investigators searched her neighbor's home, they uncovered disturbing writings in the diary of the oldest sister, 15-year-old Alyssa Bustamante. The agent collects the diary as potential evidence. The next morning, now Friday, in 2 days since Elizabeth went missing, Alyssa is brought to the FBI headquarters for an interview with Sergeant David Rice.
In combination with her strange behavior, I was confident that we were going into an interrogation at some point.
But just before he goes in, the sergeant is handed Alyssa's diary.
The last entry of the diary, which was the day that Elizabeth went missing, was completely scratched out.
But this cop is determined to bring darkness into light.
Using backlighting, we could make out 2 words: slit and throat.
Armed with potential incriminating evidence, it's go.
Now, first, you want to look at these demons that are telling the story. Do you really believe that they're surprised at this? They're not surprised. They know it happens all the time. They know majority of the time it never makes news and never makes TV, because it's stuff like this is the stuff that they hide from you, that they like to plea out, or just send these kids to do some kind of counseling or something like that. So you're never going to see any real statistics of how many of these evil albinoid teens and children are actually murderers, because you won't see it. They seal the records. They get rid of records. They don't prosecute them. They do everything they can to hide this from mainstream society, because it doesn't look good for them, and it doesn't go with their narrative that Black people are evil and Black people are violent. If they tell you the truth about themselves, then you'll see that you'll be distracted from their stories of Black people being horrible. They don't want you to see that not only are they evil and vicious and violent, but it starts at a very young age. Okay, so make no mistake about it, this happens very often. And it is very often that these same cops, these same detectives, these same FBI agents hide the evidence.
No time. Alyssa, her grandmother, Sergeant Rice, and a juvenile officer file into the interrogation room. Sergeant Rice decides to take it slow and easy, but mostly slow.
By asking Alyssa certain questions and then just waiting.
And waiting.
Silence is very effective during an interview or interrogation because people feel very uncomfortable in silence. There were pauses, I believe, that were up to 45 seconds to a minute long. And you could see the stress affecting Alyssa. You could see her eyes begin to tremor and her head begin to shake.
And then right when the sergeant thinks she might break,
because she's wondering why they're even questioning her about this behavior. She's like, we're all the same. Like, why are you coming at me like I did something wrong? She doesn't understand, like, why they're even talking to her about it. She's like, this is our norm. This is what we do.
We have your diary, and we've read your diary, even the last entry in which was scribbled out. And I just waited.
The effect is immediate.
Once I brought up the diary, I could see a distinct shift in her demeanor. And I think it was that point that she knew that we knew.
And that's when Alyssa finally starts to reveal what happened to Elizabeth. She tells Sergeant Rice it was an accident. She said they were walking in the woods when Elizabeth fell, hit her head, and suddenly died.
I explained to Alyssa that we were going to recover the body, and the autopsy would show every injury.
And he has a pretty good idea of what one of the injuries could be.
She's still wondering. She's still like, I'm giving you guys a story that you can tell. Like, she's still trying to help them because she knows who they are. She knows that this is how they are. It's not about feeling any guilt or feeling bad or hiding it because she feels bad, because she doesn't. That's not how they work. It's not in there. Just like when white people can watch Roots and any other slave movie where Black people are being violated and brutally murdered and raped, and they can watch this. They not only do they watch it, but they watch it repeatedly and make numerous movie after movie every year so that they can relive this, all the while telling you to get over it. They like to watch Black people being lynched up and hanging from a tree and having their genitals cut off. They want to see that. That makes them feel good inside. They get to reminisce. They get to dream about doing it themselves and fantasize. That's why they keep making these movies, these slave movies, because they like reliving that. They're like, oh, the time that we could kill Black people and hang their heads on our walls. They like that. They do it to animals because in their civilized, you know, in civilized world that we supposedly live in, you know, it would be frowned upon if they had hanging heads on their walls. But we don't know. You haven't been in houses of the elite. I know that there are underground, you know, hunting situations where white people can buy a person, most likely a brown person, and let them loose on their property and hunt them. There's been numerous videos and actual news or articles of them doing these such things where they're hunting people, because that's what they really wish they could do. That's what they want to be doing. That's what mainstream white people would love to be doing. But that's not where we're at right now. So that has to be something that's suppressed. It's not always suppressed, though. They're not always able to suppress these urges and these feelings. This, you know, who they are. They can't suppress it all the time.
Due to the comment or the word that we read from her diary.
That's when he asked Alyssa a direct and damning question.
Was her throat cut? And Alyssa said yes. And that's when the grandmother broke down and began crying.
It's a huge break in the case. Alyssa's grandmother leaves the room and the 15-year-old comes clean.
She said she sent Emma, her sister, over to the Olden household to pick Elizabeth up. From that point, she claimed that she told Emma to go back home and that she took Elizabeth by the hand and walked her into the woods.
It's a quarter-mile and 15-minute walk into the woods, leaving plenty of time for Alyssa to think about what she is doing and stop. But she continues on, holding the 9-year-old's hand and saying,
I've got...
Like I said, if they can't do it to us and they can't do it to other brown people, they will do it to each other. Okay, so when white people are saying, oh, you know, go back to Africa, or they're saying, you know, they want to live in an all-white country or something like that, just know that will be to their demise, because they would just kill each other. Like, make no mistake about that. There would be no peaceful country with white people all holding hands and living happily ever after. We already know that when we talk about the Holocaust. We already know why they were leaving Europe in the first place. So let's not even let them, you know, shove those lies down our throat. This is what they would do. This is them. This is their pathology. This is who they are as people, and they would do it to each other. If it wasn't her neighbor, it would have been her sister. So the only reason why her sister is still alive is because there was a little girl living next door that was about the same age as her sister. But make no mistake about it, if she needed to do it to her sister, she would have killed her sister. It's in the very core of who they are. They cannot fight it. Like, they can't resist it. If you are something, you are. That's your pathology. That's in your DNA. That's just what you do. And sadly, this is them.
Something I really need to show you. It's just a little bit further up here.
Unbeknown to the little girl, Alyssa is armed with a kitchen knife and is leading her towards a pre-dug grave.
Alyssa said once she arrived at the side of the hole that she began to strangle Elizabeth while she was facing her, that she strangled her multiple times and stabbed her in the chest, I believe 6 or 7 times, and then cut her throat.
After her confession, Alyssa agrees to take Sergeant Rice to Elizabeth's body.
Think about how intimate and how personal this attack was. first she planned it out. She fantasized about it and dreamt about it and thought about it for days. She went and found the spot that she was going to bury her. She dug the grave, and then she's strangling her. So she's that close to this little girl with her hands around her throat and strangling the life out of her. She's then stabbing her. She then slits her throat. Very intimate, very personal. And she loved every minute of it. It was food for her soul.
Bryce takes me along into the same woods where he retraces and recalls that fateful day.
She knew exactly where it was, led us directly to it.
Was it well covered?
It was not well covered. Once she pointed out the area and you looked a little bit closer, you could see that she was only a few inches, if that, under the ground, and you could see body parts that came up, covered with mud. It's a pretty horrifying homicide.
Then the results of Elizabeth's autopsy come in, and they appear to mirror Alyssa's diabolical diary. Investigators use a blue light to finally reveal her last entry on the day Elizabeth disappeared. It reads in part, "I just accidentally killed someone. I strangled them and slit their throat and stabbed them. It was amazing. It's pretty enjoyable. I gotta go to church now, LOL."
This was very premeditated by the 15-year-old.
Now, what did I tell you? She enjoyed every minute of it. She loved it. It made her feel good. And now she's going to church. That's how they are from childhood to adulthood. And you want to sit right in church with them and pray to the same Jesus as they are, and dedicate your child's soul to the same God that these people pray to. We really need to think about what we're doing.
Year-old murderer, because she had dug the grave holes at least 5 days in advance of the murder. And it was premeditated in the sense that she sent her sister down to get Elizabeth out of the house for the purpose of murdering her.
A premeditated and planned murder meets the legal requirements for a first-degree murder case. But what about her age? Alyssa is just 15.
She was certified to stand trial as an adult, and a Cole County grand jury heard evidence in the case and returned an indictment of 2 counts, murder in the first degree and armed criminal action.
And sadly, the signs of a troubled teen seemed to be there all along. Alyssa appeared to like hurting herself and others. On her YouTube page, Alyssa lists under interest and hobbies, killing people and cutting. And a week before she killed Elizabeth, Alyssa takes to her journal and writes, "If I don't talk about it, I bottle it up. And when I explode, someone's gonna die." But perhaps the biggest warning sign appears at Alyssa's own 15th birthday party. She is hanging out with her best friend Jennifer when she says,
"I just wonder what it would be like just to kill someone, see the life just drain out of someone. I wonder what it would feel like, that type of power, to take that away from someone."
And Jennifer was just like, "Oh, me too. I've been feeling that. I would love to do that too." But they have to put on the front, and she want to sit there and get attention, so she's going to act like she's just shocked. And look at this guy. This guy is a demon right here. That's just nothing about that. That's what he is. Just disgusting.
That one of the most reprehensible motives for murder that exist in humankind, and that is to murder a person for the thrill of murdering them.
2 years and 4 months after the fateful events that rocked the rural town of St. Martin's, Missouri, a trial date is finally set. Then the prosecution gets an unexpected setback to their case, and it's a big one.
The defense filed a motion to suppress the confession.
Alyssa's defense team claims because she was a juvenile, some of the questions asked during her interrogation weren't allowed under Missouri law. The judge agrees, and Alyssa's confession is thrown out.
Having the confession suppressed was a huge blow. This was a clear...
What did I say? They do whatever they can to hide this stuff. Okay, so I'm surprised this even made it to the court and TV, because they hide it so much. They sweep it under the rug. They don't do anything about it, and then it keeps happening. This is why you're not seeing it, because this is why mainstream media doesn't want to show you this stuff. They want to show you Black people. They want to show you Chicago, which isn't even one of the most violent states, but they want to keep telling you it is because there's Black people there. They have to keep pushing their agenda that Black is bad and white is good, even if it's to the detriment of society in general, period. All humanity. It is in the detriment of humanity, and they don't care.
First-degree murder case.
And there's another big blow to the prosecution's case on the horizon. The U.S. Supreme Court is about to likely rule that life sentences without the possibility of parole for juveniles is unconstitutional. So prosecutors offer up a plea deal to the defense, an amendment to murder in the second degree with a range of 10 to 30 years or life imprisonment with the chance of parole.
I notified the mother and the family that that's what I had determined to do.
I was mad. It was very mad.
Alyssa's defense team accepts the plea deal. During the sentencing phase, she addresses her victim's family and states, "I cannot even understand what you guys are going through. I'm sorry for that. If I could give my life to bring her back, I would, and I'm sorry."
I don't think she can be sorry. I don't believe anything that she says. She was being fed what to say to us from her attorney, so none of it was real.
Bustamante was sentenced on the murder charge to life in prison with a chance of parole, plus 30 years for armed criminal action. Under Missouri law, she will serve 35 years and 5 months before she will be eligible for parole. Even her one-time best friend wonders now if that's enough.
I don't think there is anywhere that she should be besides prison ever, because you just can't get away with something like that.
Is there anything you would say to her if she was watching this?
They get away with it all the time. This is what they do. So I'm not surprised at this story. I know some of you guys might be surprised. I'm not. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever. The only thing that surprises me is that we don't see it more, but I know why we don't see it more, because it's hidden. And like he just said, they were trying to get this one, her to not be prosecuted. So that's just what they do. They say they want to get rid of Black people. Well, getting rid of Black people will be the detriment to white society. So maybe if we could go kick it on an island somewhere and let them self-destruct, we should probably do that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will leave the link to this video in the description box in case anyone wants to watch it again. It's actually a 3-part story too. So this is just the last part of it. They just kind of tell you some more of the story leading up to it. So if you guys want to watch those, then that will be left in the description box. I started a, now I can't even remember what it's called, a Patreon account yesterday. So I want to thank everyone that has supported me, and this is what I want to do. I want to put out movies or videos like this, and I don't want to be my videos to be censored by YouTube, and that's what they're doing right now. So thank you any and everyone that has supported me through my Patreon account, and the link to that is on my last video. I'll try to put it in the link to my Patreon account in the description box too. I'm sorry that I'm just like, again, when I watch this stuff, I take it all in and I feel it, and my throat starts getting tight and my brain starts shutting down, and that's due to some other things going on too. And yeah, so I'm not like dumb. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and please share these videos. That is the most important thing that I think you guys can do, is to share these videos so we can get them out, get them viral, and just share our message, and help end this white supremacist terrorism. Thank you.